You know, I can make you cry, Adam. I can make you cry.
You can?
Oh yeah, easily. With just 4 little notes. You want to hear?
Yeah, sure. I bet you I won't. Can't do it, man. Turn it off.
Leaves from the vine, moving so slow.
Like a brat. Uncle Iroh!
Hits you in the feels every time, dude. I was not lying.
No, it does, for real.
Like,
So if you guys couldn't tell, Nick's beautiful few notes. If you guys know, somebody speaking outside my room, but if you guys don't know, those 4 little notes, if you hear them, it does make you feel, because where is that from, Nick?
Avatar The Last Airbender, Season 2, Episode 15, Tales from Ba Sing Se, Short 2, Iroh's Tale.
By far one of the
Epic.
best episodes. By far one of the best episodes, I could say. Oh.
Oh yeah, easily. It's in my top 5. It's such a powerful episode, not even just Iroh's Tale, but all the other ones are fantastic in their own way. It's just them going through Ba Sing Se, just chilling, and then just Iroh, man. Why does it have to? It's so close to the beginning too. It just hits you with
It
a.
does. And that's the beautiful thing is, like, you never, and that's, you know, like how a lot of shows you can easily tell what episode's a filler or not. After Last Airbender, each episode is somehow either built somebody or actually, like, mattered inside the plot or, like, somehow contributed in a way. Like, it was real. It felt like it was its own, like, actual world. And that's why that's one thing I think that I personally appreciate so much about the show.
Yeah. So, in episode 5 of Just Bros Recording a Podcast, we're going to be talking about why this show is so powerful today as it was back 15 years ago.
Ooh. Speaking of 15 years ago, tell me how you got introduced to Avatar The Last Airbender. Like,
oh gosh, well, it probably happened when I was around like 6 or 7 years old. Every Saturday or Sunday, I can't remember the exact day, it would be on Nicktoons, just breezing around. I remember one of my first episodes was The Desert, which was the cactus juice episode. Mushroom!
the happy mushroom, he's dancing! Friendly mushroom!
He's dancing! Yeah, that was one of my first ones. And I just love the zany antics of Sokka. And then again, I didn't even know what the plot was. I was just like, ooh, Sokka! And then I later found out.
Boomerang boy!
Boomerang boy. He lost his favorite boomerang and then he got it back.
My girlfriend turned into the moon.
That's rough, buddy.
That's rough, buddy. Good night, sleep
What
well.
about you? But what about you, sir? What introduced you?
Let's see. When I was, because like I said, we never actually had that stuff at home, but for some reason we would have it at the cabin. So whenever we would go out to the cabin, like, we'd just be out, like, doing, like, stuff in the woods, like, working, and then, like, around in the mornings, like, really early, Dad would be, like, mowing or something. I remember waking up getting super excited, because there's a show, like, Avatar Last Airbender, just, like, flipping through, like, you know, the stations. And sometimes, if we were lucky, Avatar Last Airbender would be airing a show. Just, like, click on it, like, I was so excited, but, like, it was such a different thing for me, because, like, this is back then when, like, I was used to watching Basic Adventure. Like, this one, like, it had, I don't know, it felt special to me, even when I was young. I just knew there was something a little bit different from, you know, the basic, like, Batman, Spider-Man, that stuff. I said, I knew that there's something, you know, something special about it. And now that we both are older, the messages in there are so good. Like, for a kid's show, it's so much more than that.
I wouldn't even call it a kid's show. I'd call it like a show for anybody, because everyone can get something out of it. It's not just a show directly like targeted toward kids. Granted, it's on like a kids show network, but still, anyone can watch the show and enjoy it for a multitude of different reasons. Because back when I watched it when I was like 7, I didn't like pick up any of the deeper meanings. I didn't think about like how gorgeous the animation was. I didn't think about all the like stuff. But now, as I get older, I appreciate the show to a much like larger degree because of all these different aspects of it, like the craftsmanship of it, the voice acting, just all of these different elements that go into making a show and how they pulled it off so like epically with like 3 magnificent seasons of television. It was fantastic. It was mind-blowing. And rewatching it again on Netflix really just cemented that like fully.
Yeah. So you glitch out for a quick second.
Ah, it's fine. They got it.
Yeah, no, but they got on the other end. So, it's really, as a kid, usually you're used to seeing like, oh, action, all that stuff, and that's what I think is insane about it, is not only did it actually, as you said, it captures the point of mind of a kid. Like a kid will be entertained by it, but even now, being so much older, and we both are so much wiser too, compared to that back then. We seriously have not like expected all that, and like just re-seeing it in like a new fresh of eyes, new pair of eyes, it just blows me away. Just all the meanings in there, like all of it. That's what I think. What can go into next about it? We can talk about the characters and what like they represent.
I mean, it's like
go ahead.
Like just to end like my whole like synopsis of the show. It's like when I think of my favorite TV shows, there are like 5 that come to mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Breaking Bad, Bojack Horseman, Twin Peaks, and these are all shows that are widely acclaimed. Yeah. But like a show that I just is kind of unorthodox and just kind of out there is definitely Avatar: The Last Airbender.
For sure.
It's definitely a much like different show out of those 4, and I still feel like it's able to stand up with those giant monolithic shows. If that's just like a compliment I can give out, there it is.
Very much so. It's.
And if we want to talk about characters, we can talk about the psychology of many different like. Yeah. Honestly, like the most fascinating characters are like the villains.
Oh yeah.
Like the villains of the show, the like anti-hero, like if we're gonna talk about like the most fascinating character of the show, it obviously has to be Zuko.
Yeah, for sure, Zuko. I mean, he's the one who's gone through the most changes, just everything. He literally went through, like, as they called it in the show, a metamorphosis, and like it. A
metamorphosis, yeah. But he didn't turn into a bug. He turned into a good person.
And
so Gregor Samsa to be damned.
Exactly, and it's crazy how, people overlook that, but like it really teaches you so much in just a simple episode, and a lot of people overlook it. I mean, it's like, as I was saying before, in the sense we all are our own, like we are our own Prince Zuko, and we are going through our own metamorphosis. Like we all are going through it at a time, and it's kind of crazy because what I think is, how we go through, like each day goes by slow, but overall the year, goes by fast. Like you look back on it, like it's, because like it's kind of like Uncle Iroh, how he's there every single day, to talk to, Zuko and like actually help him through it. If we kind of all need our own like uncles, like Uncle Iroh in our lives, because
Uncle Zuko.
If I was Uncle Zuko, I was like, oh fuck.
Uncle Zuko,
Uncle
man,
Zuko, man,
if I
he's
had
such
Uncle
a good
Zuko.
character. But what I'm saying is like each day, like if we don't, take a look at ourselves and like keep ourselves unchecked, then we're gonna end up going how we might end up like a Zula.
It's so weird because like Zuko, his character arc, like I love how for a quote-unquote kid show they put so much depth and so much thought into their villains and antagonists, because like Zuko, like you can tell from the start, is not just one like typical villain. He has a motive. He has a understandable motive because like early on, it's established that hey, he was abused when he was younger. It's like he was banished from his own home, and he feels like he's been like brainwashed into thinking, oh, this is the way I'll restore honor, how my dad will love me. And over like time, he starts like developing these like just good characterable traits, like these good like traits that he starts getting along with. It all started basically with the whole Blue Spirit act. Like that is one of my favorite episodes from the whole show. That's like probably out of my top 10. I think it's like the only episode in season 1 that's in it. But it's like, it's flippin' awesome. It's just him like flippin', like it's just like Aang gets captured by Shao and a random vigilante breaks him out, and it's Zuko. And it's like one of the biggest twists in the show, because it's like, what the heck, Zuko's kind of good? What?
Yeah.
And it's interesting because it also brings up like class issues and everything. It brings up like issues between like indiscrimination and everything, just because like that scene after where Aang is talking to Zuko as he wakes up and leaves, and it's like, 100 years ago we probably could have been friends, and then he just honor, 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 honor,
When I watched that video, I was like, oh my god, like this is the actual voice actor, like he actually did that.
Of course it was a Nostalgia Critic video, gosh.
You say? Yeah, I'm doing a Untitled Last Airbender. My little sister heard me screaming honor.
Are you okay?
Wait, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Close the door, or you don't get any honor. Yeah, go catch the Avatar. Speaking of that, with that, my little sister and I, we watched Avatar The Last Airbender together. We would sit down and like we would like throw 2 pillows like on the side of the bed, and like we just like sit down, like just listen and just like watch like maybe like 3 episodes a day. It was actually quite a journey because it was great because like I was happy that I didn't binge it because it was kind of nice like waiting, getting super excited for it. So and that's the beautiful thing is like the ending. It left everything finished, and like it was very peaceful. You know how it is where you're just like, I want more, I need more. I was satisfied. Like in the end, I was satisfied.
Yeah, I was content with the ending. Yeah, they didn't have to make Korra.
Yeah, they didn't.
But like, what would you say is your favorite episode of the whole
favorite
show?
Episode? Let's see. I do like the party one where Azula the beach episode where they all like went to the party, and for a second they were stripped away from their roles, and they're all like regular people, and literally all of them like and all of them faced their own like little problem. Like even Azula, like she like opened up about how her mom thought she was a monster, although she is, as she said, but like, it still hurt.
Oh my gosh, she's bad. Yeah.
It's terrifying because like literally at that moment, like it's not like nobody made a joke, like all of it was just real. And it wasn't, some like joke, like funny thing, like Zuko and his girlfriend, like they literally were gonna break up because he was, this around the time when he felt like, he was more confused than ever. He had his so-called honor back and everything. Like he was still not content with what he had.
That episode definitely has one of the like most emotional moments in the show, with him like ranting and like them asking like why are you so upset, and he's just like he's angry at himself. And like that's a very powerful scene.
He said that, like
it's like when you put up like emotional scenes, you got like Appa being taken away, you got Leaves from the Vine, obviously, you got the reuniting of Zuko and Iroh.
That's a good one too.
You also got that shows massive character development. You also got like, oh gosh, there's many.
There's so many good.
Those are like the ones that I can think of.
Yeah.
Oh, when Katara gets redemption, quote unquote, on her person who killed her mother. The Puppet Master episode.
That one was kind of scary.
Okay, that is probably my favorite episode of the show. That episode is terrifying. That episode, well, I wouldn't call it a filler episode. It's definitely like a little off the beaten path, but my gosh, that episode is so cool. Just the idea of blood.
And also like, I just taught that although, revenge, as Uncle Iroh always said, but it's like, revenge against revenge is never going to, actually solve anything. And, with the bloodbender, all she wanted was revenge. And by doing that, she was being just as bad as her captors before her, and I just like the theme of it. And it was just honestly just a scary episode, too.
It was, and how, even making the character, relatable to Sokka and Katara was, kind of a effed up move by Nickelodeon. Yeah. It's oh boy,
Well, on the other side, remember, she made him, and that she made her, actually bloodbend, just the feet and, the terror in her own eyes.
And the error, yeah, and the ending of the episode when, she's just crying, that's just,
it hit, it always, ended with, somewhat of a contempt, ending for, each episode, but, this one, it
very
cold.
Yeah, it was very cold, and, that was just, one of those episodes that just kind of left you oh, dear.
Whoa, we're watching a kid's show?
Yeah. And see, the thing is Korra tried, doing those, more mature stuff, tackling terrorism and PTSD and stuff like that, but it comes across as edgy, not mature.
Well, I've never actually seen the whole thing, but I've watched a lot of episodes, and pretty much what I've heard is, doesn't she, literally end off the entire Avatar bloodline? Doesn't she just, end it off?
She starts a new cycle.
I really wish is they had an adult, how in the flashbacks they show kind of adult Aang and adult the adult group.
Oh, I'd love that series. I'd absolutely adore that series and get the original voice actors.
Their age right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but what hurts is for the whole Legend of Korra thing, it's just. They made Aang end up being a terrible father, and so they just because with his son, he literally just waited for his airbending son, and then as soon as he got his airbending son, he literally just ignored all of his other kids and taught his only son airbending. It was kind of messed up, and then I wish they actually had more, a lot more of Fire Lord Zuko. That would have been nice.
Honor!
Old, Fire Lord Zuko.
Oh my god.
And then,
yeah, Zuko.
I think the one scenes I've seen a lot on YouTube is the Toph re-meeting with Korra.
Oh yeah, Toph.
That one was good. He was because the Avatar, they actually did their research in the first one. How she was do you really think that friendships can last for a lifetime? And then that's whenever she meets Korra, and then she's well, hello there, Twinkle Toes. I'm
Yeah, Twinkle Toes. Now, I had a theory about the show because I wasn't too sure of how it was gonna end. Because I knew Fire Lord, yada, he's gonna go. But I had a theory myself. It was when Aang and everyone went to the swamp that one episode. You know how they saw the visions about how it was people that they missed and they were gone from them.
Yeah.
It was Yue. It was her mother.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Aang's was Toph. It was Toph.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, it was because of she was going to meet him. He needed an earth he needed an earth bending teacher.
I had I know, but I had a theory because the thing is the way the swamp was explained was it's for people who are who are gone and are missed. You know what I'm saying? And they always have a home here. I thought Toph was gonna die. Death. I thought Toph was gonna die because I remember at the final scene I was oh god, Sokka's holding Toph.
He's this is the end for us. I was no.
I thought that was gonna be. I was oh my god, is my theory correct?
That would have been so bad. No. If the whole Avatar gang ended, that would be so bad. Just losing one of them.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Toph is great. That would have been edgy for Nickelodeon, but honestly, I feel yeah.
Yeah. Also, I liked how although Avatar, Aang was meant to end, Fire Lord Ozai, he literally went a completely different route that none of his ancestors have ever done before, sparing a life of somebody that terrible.
Yeah.
I thought that was
and all the other people, all the other avatars would murk the
kill him, and then what's the one who was the
Kiyoshi.
Kill that boy. Kill him. Kill him.
Kill him. Like I killed that one guy off the cliff. Yeah, kill him.
Like, there's no way she would have killed anyone. And then her body like was there. It's like I killed him.
Yeah, kill him. What you gonna do about it, man?
What you gonna do? I'm 7 foot tall.
Yeah, I can cross you. I can cross you off.
Basketball.
But no, the show, it's just like that was like my theory, like of living tough. But like obviously it was wrong.
Yeah.
And then like just there's one thing about the show that is like really like made me fall in love with it even more. Is how like the animation got so much better.
Just age like
Let me tell you. Let me frickin' tell you. The Ozai fight between Aang and him. That ending scene where their two souls battle to corrupt each other.
That was good. Like, and so like, and then, you know, like it was so close.
And it's just sound design too.
It was like slowly taking over his. Like, it was so close to actually taking over Aang, but then Aang just went.
Yeah.
Skadoosh. And then.
Yes, skadoosh. No,
so
dude,
good.
like that scene. Like rewatching it, it was just like I was like, because like, and like the sound design was so amazing too. It was just like what the heck, and like I'm gonna talk about animation. We got the Firebending Masters episode with the dragons.
Agni Kai, whatever they're called.
Oh, the Agni Kais, dude, they were so cool.
That's...
The episode with Fire Lord Roku and Fire Lord Sozin.
Yeah, that's
flashback
sad.
episode. That was really good. That was a good episode. That's up there in my top
10. I mean,
10.
that really does show that people, whenever they get, you know, the slightest amount of power, where they think that they are doing something good, anyone's going to corrupt their own mind. You know, this is just power in general. And see what happened to their friendship. Literally, they've been friends since they were, you know, kids.
Yeah.
And just the way he turns on him, felt even like it seemed like he cared, and like he helped him at the beginning, and he just skedaddled. He's like, "This will help my plans perfectly." Because you saw he wouldn't have helped him in the first place, but he was there because he still had a deep inside of him. He still cared, but he realized, wait a second, this will help me perfectly, and so that just sucks because it's.
What's the quote that heckin' that the villain from Frozen made like to Anna's face? It was like, if only someone could ever love you, and it just.
Yeah, doesn't he like kick the fire out?
Yeah, he just takes the fire out. He's like, you won't get away with this. And he's like a
let me boogie my way out of here.
I already did. Just like.
Love is not an open door.
You're locked in here forever, you whore.
Olaf's gonna die too.
Gonna kick the golem out.
I think that was one of the best, honestly, like the best Disney plot twists. I never expected it. It's good.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
Disney
but anyway, it's like Disney 2. There's a second Disney.
Frozen 2.
But like, anyway, back to Avatar. That just.
It's beautiful.
Man, and then I do want to talk about like a little more in depth the sequence of Leaves from the Vine.
Yeah.
Just because the whole sketch, not the whole sketch, the whole like short film is something so elaborate.
It's so much deeper. It's so much deeper.
Because it starts off with him helping helping people in simple ways. He starts helping a child, who was crying.
The mugger.
And the mugger gave him hope and everything. And that is symbolically representing how, like, his son would have aged. Like, how his son was aging, because, like, the ages kept going up and everything. Helped the old man in the shop and everything. And then the episode just ends, like, after he sang the song with the boy to help cheer him up.
Well, I could have helped
the episode ends. The episode ends with him singing the same exact song. In remembrance of his son's death day. Actually, birthday. his son's birthday under a tree, which is one of the most sad and beautiful scenes in television history.
Yeah, well, it just really hurts at the very like, it just really hurts. It says, "If only I could have helped you," you know, like, and that just hurts. Like, you know.
And it's like that. It just brings up a lot of other like issues that make this show like not really a children's show. It's like it just tackles loss in such a profound way. It really like tackles it in such a like realistic way, because like Iroh stopped being a general because of the death of his son, and that's like
crazy.
a really realistic reaction.
He was so close to literally winning everything, and as soon as his son died, like, he just turned around. Like the whole white,
he stopped,
the White Lotus thing, just everything. Like, it was, he turned his life around just for the better.
Yeah, because like he realized like this like casualties happen, and it's
I mean,
and like
just all of it. I mean, just especially the whole thing with like loving and like being patient with Zuko. Like, he was, for all I'm concerned, Uncle Iroh was his dad. Uncle Iroh was his dad.
Yeah, for real. He was like the father figure in his life. And speaking of Zuko, we gotta talk about Zuko alone. That episode where he's just on his own. It's the whole episode's about him. He meets up with like a little boy, kind of mentors him in the way that Iroh mentored him.
Gives him his knife and everything, but then as soon as
and then of course the ending with the boy finding out
his pride gets back in the way. I am Prince Zuko of the Fire Nation.
He tries actually being a good person for once, and it turns him around, and he has to leave town and go on his way. And it's so sad.
As soon as they found out that he was the Fire Lord, I mean, like, I think that was kind of like just his very first, you know, eye-opening that, oh, people are acting this way. Is there something wrong with, you know, being from the Fire Nation? Yeah, there's so much character development, and that's what I love about it. He literally changed so much. I mean, it's realistic, and that's what I love about it, because you know how nobody in their life just is like, okay, I'm a bad person, I'm going to suddenly become good again. People go through ups and downs like a roller coaster. People go through many, you know, changes in their lives.
Yeah.
That's what I loved about it. It was like, it's just realistic. It felt like they were real people.
Oh yeah, and like the whole like, let me talk about season 3, because season 3 is one of the best seasons of television. Because like, flippin', it starts off with him flippin' recovering from, you know, dying. Aang recovering from dying. Zuko has everything he wants. Avatar's dead, basically. And like around episode 10 for the Day of Black Sun, like it's one of the biggest plot twists that, oh hey, look, Azula knows about the invasion, so it's like, oh, sugar.
Yeah.
Zuko leaves, joins their side. It just, it's one of the most profound seasons of television.
Even Sokka, like, he changed.
Sokka.
Sokka. He changed so much throughout. It's crazy because you start off like just the, you know, the haha funny guy, haha boomerang, hee. But literally around the end, his character development, literally, what I love about it is even he got character development. It was so real too.
Oh, and the episode with him and his master
was so good.
Amazing.
Like, you know, like just him like knowing he was like from the water tribe and everything, like, loved it. Because like he knew from.
Try using the name Lee. There's a lot of Lees in the Fire Nation. God, we've just been geeking out about this show for like 30 minutes. It's great.
What else we can add to it before this ends? I mean, there's some. I mean, we could just go on forever about it. It's just so good.
Yeah. It's a profound show that hits just as hard as like any other like show that has a meaning like that. That it's just. It's a show that I have a lot of respect for. It's probably one of my favorite animated shows. Up there with Bojack Horseman. They're like neck and neck for different reasons.
I still need to follow the amount you talked about. I'm really thinking of going and watching that.
It's a tough show, but if you can get through it, dude, it's
kind of reminds me of F is for Family. I tried to start watching that, but then kind of started hurting because of the family dynamic of like them fighting and like the dad, you know, like yelling like all the mom, you know, it was like a huge fight. It's like an animated show. It's a very
I know it's made by
very comedic, but at the same time, like it hit kind of hard, surprisingly, for being a show like that. I was like, I can't watch that.
Yeah, Bojack's the same way. Bojack is the same way, because Bojack, it's one of the only shows that ever made me like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, because it's like, at times it was honestly really hard for me to watch. Like, I had to turn it off many times because of how it...
One quote that I've seen so many, like, sad Bart Simpson edits is, everybody loves you, but nobody likes you. Like, because, you know, like, and that really does say a lot.
Because everyone loves Bojack Horseman, but they don't like being with him, you know?
And that can say a lot, you know, like, being with family, like, like, people are forced to love you because of this, but they don't like him, like, ooh, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's a
very tough subject.
Great show.
Very strong, and that's...
There are just so many great things about Bojack Horseman. It's a very funny show, but it also has some of the most profound, like, episodes of all time. Like, there's, God, season 6 alone. Great show. And, heckin', what's the, season 1 has, like, one good episode on it. Because, like, it's mainly supposed to set up. There's one great episode, and oh my god, it hits hard. Like, that's when I realized, like, oh crap, this is gonna be, like...
Very deep show.
This is gonna be good. Season 2 was great. Like, around... Oh, the ending of Season 2. Oh god, the ending of Season 2.
Strong.
That's probably the most, like, hard ending of the show. Like, oh my god. If you watch, you'll know what I'm talking about, but I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah, don't ruin that for me. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see it. I'm gonna watch it.
Season 3 was very much so the same thing, but Season 4 has one of the toughest episodes I think I've ever seen. Two of them, actually. Two of them are two toughest episodes. And, oh god, dude, the show. Look at the show takes on dementia. Like, that got me.
That's something that
and
scares
season
me.
5 had a really powerful episode in it. It's always episode 11. And then season 6, yeah, it was the end of the show. But, like, I recommend you watching it. Fantastic show.
With all of the, you know, the amount you've talked about it, I've really considered it, and I'm going to watch this. It's going to be probably tough for me to watch, you know, just, you know, those type of shows are just hard, you know, sometimes.
Yeah. Definitely the episode about Alzheimer's and dementia was tough for me because I had a family member who dealt with that.
Yeah, my grandma.
Like, it was terrifying to see.
My grandma always remembered me, but my sisters, she had issues remembering because two of my sisters kind of look similar. And it was kind of hard because, like, she would, like, forget their name for a while, and just hard, like, it was just hard, like, seeing it. It's scary, and that's what scares me about old age.
Yeah, and she forgot my name, and she forgot who I was. And it got to the point where, like, she didn't know where she was.
Empty show.
She was not herself. And what saddened me the most was my dad one time just told me, like, that I was her favorite.
Yeah. That's what's hard. I mean, whatever you believe in the end of the day, you're gonna be able to see that person again. It doesn't matter how, you know, but it's, you know, the memories that you made. It's...
Yeah.
Man, yeah.
And it's like...
Hard.
She also... Yep, gotta... Oh! Oh, man.
Emotions are very real, and it's very good to get them out.
God. That's just the power of shows like Bojack and Avatar, because it's like, even though both are animated, they, like, that doesn't detract them from being some of the most, like, spectacular shows ever made.
That's the thing, is people, you know, tend to focus on the, you know, the happy ones, like the ho funny, to hide, you know, from, you know, the actual real problems in the world. And that's why it's sometimes good, you know, to get a little bite of reality sometimes again, because sometimes with everything that's going on, people tend to crawl into a certain hole that they enjoy and, you know, and live there for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
It's good that these shows exist.
Exactly, yeah.
But Avatar The Last Airbender, Bojack Horseman, both of those fantastic shows. Go ahead and check them out. I guess you're gonna see my journey through watching it.
Dude, you gotta keep me updated.
I'm
just saying, you gotta keep me updated, because I just need to know. Because there are some great episodes, there's some great funny ones, and there's also some great ones in terms that it just hits you. It hits you like a truck.
Well, this is a very, very interesting episode. It was very heartwarming. I mean, it was very heartfelt. Very heartfelt. I guess that's the word for it.
Yeah.
But
I want to end this episode. Before we end, I want to say I really need to thank people for actually listening to these, because it actually means a lot to Adam and I that you take the time to listen to these, watch these, whatever you do, because while like they're not like our main content, we still love trying to put these out as regularly as we can. Our lives are very different right now. You're going to college. I'm like just trying to survive. It's very just different than it was when we first met. So we're trying to like do the best we can to like keep these coming out, because I know a lot of people enjoy them, and we just want to say that we thank you for your support. And one thing I'm really loud noise. One thing I'm really thankful about this is that not only do they end up turning out well, but I know that these literally are artifacts. They're going to be artifacts in our future life. Someday when we're 40, someday when we're so much older, our grandkids, our own kids will look back at it and be like, dang, our dads were pretty tight. Like our dads were pretty hot,
dang,
let me tell you.
Look at that man's hair. Like it's woo. That's what I'm crazy about is I saw that, like it's something I realized, like life goes by so fast. Like it's, if you don't, take a minute, to appreciate that stuff, let alone like take a moment, to like record it. Like people, would like write in their journals back in the day. We have actual visual, like physical things. Like we can see ourselves, and this thing will actually last forever. That's why I find it so beautiful, so incredible. That's why I enjoy making all this stuff. Like these podcasts mean so much to me, and I very much appreciate you, Nick, and I very much enjoy having you as a friend and continuing with these podcasts. I'm excited for the next few episodes that we're going to make.
Yeah. Oh, are you crying?
I'm not. I'm crying. I promise you, I'm crying on the inside. I don't cry often, but I do cry on the inside, and I can promise you, I'm crying right now.
Okay.
Well, let's end this episode here.
Yeah, I will say one more thing. I appreciate you too, Mr. Blomer. Mr. Below me? No. What the fuck? Okay. But, no, because we've known each other since, 2016. Yeah. So it's like to see us evolve into these people that we are today is kind of interesting, and especially that it's been all documented basically on YouTube. Yeah. It's kind of startling. You think about
puberty. I mean, it was 20. Yeah.
Before puberty. Oh yeah, no, we
it was 2016. Was it 2016? I know I was a freshman when I started the podcasts. And that was over 4 years ago now, and I was real young then. I was before puberty. Like I was just now like slightly hitting it.
We need to make an episode about just us.
We do. Like honestly, it would be nice just to sit down, like talk about our achievements, what we've done. Like it would be nice just to review the old casts, All
right, let's stop talking. Let's stop talking about this now. We'll have to do that for the next episode.
But goodbye, everybody.
See ya.